Hello and welcome everybody to a relatively early Saturday stream, and that is because today is 3 versus 3 Challenger Cup time, EU versus Asia. So of course to make it easier for Asian time zones, we're going a little bit earlier than usual today. But it's going to be an exciting one because we're going to see the new cards from the new pack in some action today. It is a 3 versus 3 tournament where half of the teams are from Asia and half of the teams are from the EU. So we're going to be able to find out and see which team is going to come out ahead and which region is going to win today's tournament. In the first round, every pairing is going to be one team from Asia versus one team from the EU. So it's going to be fun. The rules for today are as follows before we jump into our first feature match, which you can already see on the screen. The players have just started. So we're going to hop in there in a couple of seconds. Every player has one deck and one deck only. There are no restrictions between the players' decks, though. There's no shared card pool or anything like that. So in theory, 2 players on the same team can have the same deck if they want to. Yeah, and then we're going to be playing a best of 9 where the players rotate after each game. So every player of every team is going to face off against every player of the other team once. So those are the rules. Best of 9, first to 5 wins. Loser is eliminated. It is a single elimination bracket. And on the first round, we're going to be watching Team FCG from Asia versus Team BOE from the EU. And we're going to jump in to Mimoy versus Doggy for our first game. And of course, we're going to try and see today if the Radiant Typhoon cards from the newest pack are going to make any impact here, or if the players are going to stick with their trusted decks from before. Let us find out. All right, we're going to see Doggy going first with a Ketu Draco Tail. Likely not going to have any Radiant Typhoon cards in this one. Lucius is going to search 5 mana. And that gets hit with a Dominus Impulse, which also implies that Mimoy over here is not going to be on any Radiant Typhoon cards because they would be locked out of them now. And that Dominus Impulse ends the turn for Draco Tail, and it is, in fact, Odeon. Okay. Well, we Ash Temple of the Kings to search. And also, Dominus Impulse is probably one of the harsher locks for the Odeon deck because you cannot use Man. You cannot use the Primite Dragon. In the end phase, we're going to use Draco Tail's Sting to banish the Dominus Impulse from the graveyard. Drawing a card for turn. And we have another 5 mana off the top probably, but we also have another Dominus Impulse, which we set, interestingly enough. What if they had another 5 mana in hand? Battle phase, attack Man. It cannot be destroyed by battle because we have Temple of the Kings. Apophis in the end phase. And now we're going to rely on the grind game from the Apophis field spell here because we can't really use any of our effects. But you can still special summon this Anubis the Last Judge from your hand because it does not activate. And also, we can go into Divine Serpent Apophis, which is also an Earth monster, so we cannot use its effect after Dominus Impulsing. But we now have the ability to shuffle back 2 and summon the Judge, which means we are, if we're not going for game here, we're still applying a lot of pressure. And since Draco Tail didn't really have a play last turn besides the 5 mana, not even a normal summon, it's safe to assume they don't currently have any plays in hand. No Rahu, no Ketu, no Mululu, no Cartesia, none of that. So this, at the very minimum, is going to put a lot of damage on the board and going to put them on, well, 1 draw. And that 1 draw has got to do some Has got to work some magic. Unless they can figure out a way to go for a game this turn. Okay, they play another copy of Treasure of the Kings. That is going to be really rough because that means they have at least one access to a negation that we know of. Also, we can still normal summon man number 2. I didn't get to show off my fun deck yet. Opponent didn't wake up. That's unfortunate. Wait, what do you mean wake up? Aren't they? They're like 6 hours ahead. I guess it depends where they're from Asia. But Asia is ahead of ourselves, right? With the time zones. So it should be like towards the end of the day for them. I mean, yeah, maybe they got a different sleep schedule. It does happen. So was the entire team not there, or do you still have like 2 opponents out of 3? The captain needs to be there to invite the teammates. Oh, the captain was missing. Well, that is unfortunate. So yeah, I guess if you ever sign up to a team tournament, make sure you show up. Otherwise, your teammates are not going to be happy. All right, SP Little Knight, on the other hand, as we do see the alt art, can be activated. Because we have only used the Dominus Impulse and not Dominus Purge. So we're banishing 1 5 mana out of the graveyard. Since they have another one, maybe you could have considered hitting the Lucius, because that's at least gonna limit the options if they get a Urgula in the grave, but okay. And we know at least that they have the Apophis Serpent ready to go. So even a top deck Rahu or Ketu is not going to do it. That is a Rahu off the top, but there's no way. They don't have a way to stop that. Apophis the Serpent, and the other one should be Apophis the Swamp Deity. Yep, there it goes. And that is going to negate Rahu Draco Tail. And yeah, of course they did not have another play in hand. And Man takes the first game here for Team FCG. The other 2 are still going, so let us jump into this one. All right, we're going to see Bell going first. Hit with a Mulcharmy Perulia. Activates a Polymerization. Luna Light going first. All right, that Mulcharmy Perulia is not going to do a whole lot against Luna Light. If you're lucky, you get your card back, I would say. Because this hand feels like it can also play without playing into it. It's not the greatest start, though. Kaleido Chick sends Martin. Activate Tiger. Tiger grab Martin back. Here's Izuna. Okay. Lupus is being sent. Wonder if this is Vanquish Soul Canine then. We have a Forbidden Droplet as well, though. We're going to send the Martin away to negate the Lupus. I do feel like this is a situation in which Lunalight will probably have to normal summon. No, actually this does not need to normal summon. Okay, this can search Masquerade now with the Yellow Martin, and then Masquerade can send Silver Hound. That way you can get the Gold Leo without normal summoning, and then Gold Leo can like add Wolf, discard Wolf, or add Emerald Bird and discard Emerald Bird. Okay, how do we get to Wolf though? I guess the Perfume search. Bring Kaleido Chick back with Tiger. Kaleido Chick sends Wolf And now we add it with Boat Leo. Ooh, we're resummoning the Kaleido Chick with the Perfume Dancer, so that is going to give the Peruli a draw here. However, Liger number 1 has already hit the field. If this is Vanquish Soul, though, that deck has ways to beat a Liger Dancer, potentially. This is going to be 2 Liger Dancers, though. Black Sheep is going to recycle the Kaleido Chick. And we normal summon it. Okay. SP Little Knight. Actually getting value on the first turn. Lupus goes banished forever. And then Wolf. Chained Ruis Worm. Ooh, hold up. I wonder if that was the draw off of the Perulia, because we gave 2 Perulia draws. I don't know if we had to. But now we're summoning Lunalight Saber Dancer. And in the end phase, we're using our first Liger Dancer. And it looks like it's Vanquish Soul. I mean, we haven't seen any Vanquish Soul cards yet, but these cards are all very common in Vanquish Soul. So we're going to have to wait and see 5 cards in hand against just 1 Liger, and it is Vanquish Soul. And we have the Heavy Borger to dodge the SP as well. This is a good hand for Vanquish. There is a Silverhound negation in the grave. For the field spell, though. You want to use Silverhound on this, definitely. Alright, Heavy Borger is going to draw a card. And now we are live. We were watching the replay until now. Okay. This is an interesting spot, because normally what you would want to try to do with Vanquish Soul in this situation is you would want to try to resolve the field spell at all costs. So the fact that they just used it to bait the Silverhound is interesting to me, because that is one way how you can beat a Liger Dancer, is if you have the field spell up and you can continuously protect your Vanquish Souls from being destroyed. However, it seems like they did not have an option to do that here. And Typhon is being summoned, but Typhon can out the Saber Dancer, I guess. And now the Liger can't activate, so this is potentially going to buy you a turn, but also not really, because Tiger and Wolf are still on the field. So I'm sure the follow-up for Lunalight is strong enough. They might even be able to just make another Liger depending on their extra deck setup, right? They should have one more Leo Dancer in the extra deck. So you can just go Tiger, revive Kaleido Chick, send another Leo Dancer, and then Wolf make another Liger Dancer, and that should definitely go for game. I still can't handle the K9 field music. Alright, we have a set card here, and we pass turn. Yeah, this follow-up from the 2 scales should be really strong. We're going to try to revive that Kaleido Chick. It's successful. We're going to probably activate it to send another Leo. We also have Yellow Martin in the graveyard, so we even technically have a lot more than this going on for us. There's the second Leo. And if that second Liger hits the board, then I think Vanquish Soul will not really have a chance in this one. Because that is an outrageous amount of damage from 2 Ligers. Even if we have to attack the Typhon, right? We can't use Liger to destroy it, but we have enough attacks here to go for game. We make the Liger in the extra monster zone, playing around Gorgon a little bit. If the Ligers are positioned like this, then there's no way to summon a Gorgon of Zilophthonia to point to any of them. In case you've ever wondered why some Lunalight players are positioning the Ligers like this. They can be on the other side, it's kind of the same thing, but if one is blocking the extra monster zone and the other one is like here or here, then you have no way. The Gorgon of Zilophthonia would have to go here, and then it doesn't point anywhere. Okay, we have the Vanquish Soul Trap. Revealing just dark. Okay. All right, one Liger is going to destroy the Typhon by battle and then activate its effect because we only revealed one attribute. This Madlove can be destroyed, and I think Kaleido Chick is active, so we can't activate anything in the battle phase. So Lunalight will take down Vanquish Soul here, even though they opened Purulia, Druisworm, and Izuna. Honestly, pretty impressive. And that is going to even up the score in the series. And we still have... Oh, we conveniently watched the 3 matches in the exact order in which they finished. We watched the quickest one first, the middle one second, and now we're gonna still see the third one going on. All right, and we have Team FCG going first here. Oh, the Sky Striker sleeves don't give me hope. Yep, it's not Sky Striker. Pot of Extravagance, Chain Mold Charmy Fuwalos, a royal one, right? Pot of Extravagance could mean Mitsurugi or Odeon, I guess. Or Vanquish Soul. Okay, Vanquish Soul apparently also... I mean, pure Vanquish Soul often plays Extravagance. But if it's K9 Vanquish Soul, it's a little risky, but some people still choose to do it. We have K9 Izuna here sending Lupus. I assume we're going to give the draw for the Ripper here unless we banished it with Extravagance. We did not. Ripper goes into EMZ. Detach the Izuna and set the K9 Forced Release. Activate a case for K9 or another Izuna. Normal Summon Raisin. This is a good hand. Search Heavy Borger. The question is, do we play both the Quick Play spell and the Trap in the main deck for Vanquish Soul? We do play the Trap. Okay, this is a phenomenal opener under Fuwalos for just 1 draw. And we start burning with the Heavy Borger because we can't draw because of Extravagance. Now we draw though. In their standby phase, we draw a card. Back to 5. This is a really strong opener. We are up against Mitsurugi though. I would say if there is a deck that can play through this, it would be a Mitsurugi variant. We go with the Forced Release immediately, upgrading the Ripper into a Werewolf, so we have the option to look at the hand when an effect is activated. Activate Aramasa, Chain Werewolf to take a look at the hand. That was a lot of info. That was a lot of info in one. Okay, what was the hand? That was a little too quick for me, but we banished the access to the Ryziel cards. So I assume that was the only one they had. I think I saw an Ice Ryziel, but they normal summoned already. Okay, we go and activate Polisu to summon out Madlove. Madlove is going to threaten to return this Murakumo to the hand instantly, which is really nice. Because it is the lowest defense at the moment, and I don't think they have a prayers to dodge. They're going to force a discard here, but that I think hardly matters because they have enough cards in hand. This card, Red Reboot. Okay, they were prepared for trap decks. Not necessary here. And the Murakumo is just going to destroy the Werewolf. And we have Mitsurugi prayers back. It's not the end of the turn though for Mitsurugi. They can still kind of play with this, but like the problem in this matchup for Mitsurugi is that at some point the trap card is just gonna make everything unable to be destroyed by Murakumo, and that is really tough. All right, here's Futsu hitting the board. Magatama is neat. Activate Mirror, tribute the Futsu, bring back that Murakumo. The question is, how do we handle the Vanquish Soul trap at some point, just wiping the entire board, which is the point is now. We can chain prayers, tribute one of them, but they both have already used their graveyard effects, and so we just let it resolve. Now prayers activates, tributes Habakiri, take 800, brings back Murakumo. Abakiri activates, searches for another copy of Prayers. Now, I believe the Vanquish Soul field spell has already activated to protect this turn for the first Murakumo Raigeki effect. But Caesar is going to protect itself. It doesn't need a field spell to be protected. 7 Tachyon, back to the hand. Valius is going to threaten a non-target pop here. And that hits Magatama. That's rough. Because in theory, Vanquish Soul Mitsurugi did have a chance here if they went revive Murakumo and then activate the effect to destroy and then chain Magatama to destroy the field spell so it can't protect. But now that they lost the Magatama, that will not work. But maybe Futsu can wall up enough. Gonna chain here. Is this the Mitsurugi trap? It is the Mitsurugi trap. Okay, maybe. I don't know if Futsu can wall up enough though. Oh, never mind. They have another red reboot to negate the trap. But that still dodges the Holisu take. Set their own red reboot. That's funny. Holisu can't take anything. Murakumo adds ritual. We're gonna force the reveal from the field spell. Mad Love is going to return the Murakumo to the hand if they don't discard a card. Discard Fire Attacker. Let's go. We're gonna protect the board. And a Futsu is going to return. Lupus effect. Futsu gonna print some cards, but is it enough to survive the turn? I am not sure. We add Jiaolong. Tribute summon Jiaolong. Turn the Futsu to attack mode. Battle phase. And that is going to be the game. Okay. Honestly, it was a good attempt. It was a good attempt from Mitsurugi, but ultimately not enough. Okay. Let us jump into the second round of games. As a reminder, it is a best of 9 here today, every time. Currently, Team FCG, which is the team from Asia, is leading 2-1. Let us jump into this one. All right, FCG going first in this one. And this time it is Erie's turn to start with a Molcharmi Perulia. And we've got Primite Lordly Load for Drill Beam. Lordly Load summons Labradorite Dragon, set 3 pass. All right, no draw for the Perulia. 7th Tachyon, reveal Masquerade, search X Ryziel. Yeah, that's a strong start into some back row. Ooh, we have the Max C on res though. But that's not gonna stop Ryziel. We target a face down, we hit Imperm. That's not a great trade for us. Normal summon Kusanagi. Make Exiton Knight. For another draw. That just gets drill beamed though. We knew about this. We knew about the drill beam. I wonder if it was just okay to pass a turn without playing into this Max C, because I feel like it's really tough to play into Max C against an Odeon deck that usually plays all the Dominus cards. And now we're down to 1 card. But maybe there's no engine. There is Primite. All right, and that is gonna prompt the concession, because now there's going to be a Baron and a Drill Beam, and you're not getting out of that one. All right. Oh, the other game's also already finished. Holy, what happened there? Bell 1. Okay, so that is a point for EU. Bell was on Lunalight, right? So Lunalight is also 2-0 here for them this round so far. All right, and this time it is Vanquish Soul revealing Holly Sue for Holly Sue. And reveals Lantern and Ash Blossom. Okay, and that is resolving. That is very massive. Madlove gets the field spell. The field spell is going to be accessing Raisin. No, Borger. Okay. Ah, okay, because we have reinforcement of the army. I see. Almost summon Raisin. Urge Jiaolong. I believe this should be, if I remember correctly, this is a is this a Vanquish Soul mirror? I'm not sure, actually. No, this should be Draco Tail. Draco Tail is gonna have a hard time against this. Alright, we make an SP Little Knight. Lantern. We give us Case for K9. Case for Lupus. Looks like we're gonna go all the way up into a Masquerade here to destroy our own Case for K9 to search the quick play spell. We do have Nibiru here. Ripper is activated though in response. And that does resolve. It does take the last material off of the Ripper, but it's not great. Alright, in the end phase, we're going to get the Vanquish Soul Trap card. And we're going to use Mad Love to return our own Raisin back to the hand, because we don't want to block the board like this. That is nice. 5 cards in hand for Vanquish Soul, Quick Play Spell, and Trap set. And we have Ash, which we already knew because they revealed it for Holly Sue, for Ketu Draco Tail. And that is GG. Okay. Well. Draco Tail not doing so hot today so far. But we are jumping into a third round. Wait, is that a third game already? Should be, right? Me double check. Yeah, okay. Is there Radiant Typhoon? I would assume that there's Radiant Typhoon, but not in this match. Neither of those teams have decided to bring Radiant Typhoon. But I have hopes that we're going to see one at some point today. Okay, Imperm on Gold Leo is a strong start. And that is going to be a pass. I think this is Odeon, right? Oh yeah, this is Odeon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And once again, this is currently, because we're playing a best of 9 here, Team BOE, who are on the back foot here, they need to win every game in this last set. Otherwise, they will lose the match. Called by the Grave on Anubis, the Last Judge, is not bad. But they have man anyways. They opened Goat Leo plus Called by the Grave and got hit with Imperm. Classic. Dominus Impulse is going to stop the Labradorite summon, which is important because otherwise you would be facing down a Baron the Fleur. But you lose the Goat Leo here, and now you're going to have to play up against a bunch of negations ready to go. Don't know if 3 cards can do it in Lunalight. And this might be the end for Team BOE if we cannot beat this Odeon board. And this Odeon board is very hard to beat, even with 6 cards. And this Lunalight deck has looked really strong so far. Has won both games so far in this series, but this one Maybe a droplet here. A droplet off the top to scent this perfume. Nope. Activate Masquerade. Activate Masquerade effect. If only we had that Masquerade last turn. That last turn, that could have been the extender we needed. But this turn, it is just going to get negated by the Swamp Deity. And now that last card in hand needs to do some wonder. Heavy Polymerization. You thought that card was going to resolve, didn't you? I'm just kidding. No one thought it was going to resolve. And that is GG's. Enough life points. You could, it would not have been a Liger Dancer because there was no Lunalight cards in rotation anywhere. But there's a chance, I don't know exactly, but like there's a chance that Leo Dancer was good enough against Odeon. I'm not sure if they can out the 3500. I don't know what the exact conditions are on Leo Dancer, like what it's unaffected by or it can't be targeted or something. I think it can't be targeted and can't be destroyed by card effect or something. Which I'm not sure if Odeon can out it. But I mean, now the game is over. Apophis can negate it. Apophis can negate it, and then you can do what to it? Alright, Lunalight Black Sheep. And that is going to be the win for Team FCG in this first match of the day. They are going to advance to the top 8. It doesn't matter what happens in the other 2 games because they have now won 5. That is good enough. Alright, GG's. GG's gamers. And that is the first team from Asia moving on. That was a relatively quick match, even though it did go into the 3rd set. Let me quickly gather some info on what the score is here between these 2 teams. We have Team FEN against Team TPA, but one of their players does not have the team name in their name, so gotta be... Okay, let me see. We have a win for TPA. We have a win for FEM, so that's 1-1. 2-1 for FEM, 3-1 for FEM, 3-2. 3-2 cannot be. 3-2, there. Oh, that probably one is missing on the scoreboard. Okay, I don't know the exact score, unfortunately. It's either 3-3 or 4-2. I guess I'll just put it as 3-2 because that's all we know. Okay. We have Time Maiden. So this is the first Yummy deck we're seeing today. Special summon Time Maiden, make Linkuriboh, make Cookie Yummy, and then try to resolve Cupsy Yummy Way, which does get hit with an Ash Blossom. Which does get hit with a Crossout Designator. We go add Cupsy Marshmallow, discard Dominus Purge. That is not a good sign. When your opponent is willing to discard a Dominus Purge from their hand, that means you're in trouble. The April unbranded? I don't know. It could be. It's a 43 card deck. I don't know if that is standard for branded right now in Master Duel. I don't think they play this close to 40 usually. But it could be. Maybe it's branded Draco Tail. I feel like that's what a lot of branded players have done. They've been playing branded Draco Tail recently. Because it's kind of like the good mix, right? Like you still get to play some branded cards, but you're playing a better deck overall. All right, that is a rough one to beat with 5 cards in hand. Snake Eye Ash gets hit with Ash Blossom. Ash versus Ash. All right. And gets negated. Is it Yummy Snake Eye or just Snake Eye? We do have Millennium in here. This just feels like Snake Eye. Are we thinking on where to place the Seng engine right now? Okay. Ashing the second effect is not really the play anymore since the first effect is a Yummy starter. It could be, but at the same time, if you're scared of it being a Yummy starter, then you could still Ash Cupsy. Unless they can actually, they might be able to chain block the Cupsy with Poplar from Ash Blossom. No, actually, you're right. If they're playing Snake Eye Yummy, then they can just link off the Poplar, or they can link off the Snake Eye Ash for Linkaribo, and then make Cupsy with the Poplar, and then go chain link 1 Cupsy, chain link 2 Poplar and Grave. And then you can't Ash that. So if you want to make sure it's not a Yummy starter, then you gotta Ash the Snake Eye Ash. All right, we have Called by the Grave, but we have to discard it for Diabell Star. This seems really rough. I don't think it's possible with this amount of cards. The Called by was even a really good answer to the Herald of the Arclight, but we had to throw it away for the Diabell Star. Which does imply that the last card in hand is powerful, because which card would be more powerful than Called by the Grave? But even if it is a powerful card, it still gets negated by Herald of the Arclight. I mean, in hindsight, I don't think there's anything to be done this game realistically, because they opened Yummy combo plus Crossout plus Ash Blossom. So what was your hand gonna be? Right? Even if you had Maxi plus Fualos, both of them would have been negated. Last card's a monster, probably. Oh yeah, right. Arclight. Means if Called by was the only spell, we had to send that one. Yeah, right. What are we watching? We are watching a 3 versus 3 tournament, where half of the teams are from the EU and the other half are from Asia. That is the gimmick of this one. And it's a 3 versus 3 team tournament, and it's every player of each team plays against every player of the other team, basically. So it's a best of 9 every round. All right, draw off a turn and surrender. All right, Yami takes this one. Really strong hand going first. Not much to be done there for Snake Eyes. It is not shared card pool, no. We've just coincidentally seen a lot of teams play different decks, which is nice. But it is technically not shared card pool. All right, we have another Lunalight duelist here. Here's Izuna, though. We go for a Nash Knight. Why would we do that now? Like, why would we show them that we have Izuna so early? Okay, we Ash, Gold Leo. Lunalight. Yeah, now we have a monster from the extra deck. Wait, this is gonna be really bad. Have we seen any Radiance yet? Not yet, but we've just started. We are in the first round. So give it some time. Hopefully we'll see one. Yeah, this was a very early Nash Knight. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, because we not only did we play into Lunalight Fusion, but we also gave our opponent the info that we had it available before they decided what to search with the Lunalight Perfume. It is one deck per player, yes. All right, Outer Entity Nyarla is going to detach this Yellow Marten to trigger its effect. Or Masquerade. Perfume Dancer is going to reset the Tiger. Then we're going to activate the Tiger again. Kaleido Chick send Wolf. Martin bounced the Tiger yet again. Here is Tiger King. Gonna give us Tenki. Frost Sheep. Enki for Fractal. Fractal can still go for Silver Hound. I don't think we've done that yet. What is the strongest deck we've seen so far? Out of the very few games we've watched, we've seen, I think, Odeon win every game it's been played in so far, which was 3. I think Odeon is 3-0 so far. Lunalight, we've seen go 2-1. This would be a 3-1 if they win this game, which is looking likely. Yami, we've only seen 1 game, but they won it. Draco Tail, we've seen lose twice and not win once. And Vanquish Soul has done all right. Like 2-1 or 2-2, I'm not sure. What is Goatee's win rate? Believe it or not, Goatee has not lost a single game today. Do with that information whatever you want. I feel like we've watched this exact game earlier. We've watched Lunalight go first against Vanquish Soul. Vanquish Soul starts Mad Love. They chain SP and they have Borger to tag out. This exact game has happened And then next play was Field Spell negated by Silverhound. The only difference is it's a small difference, but in that game it was just one Liger Dancer. In this game it's two. Maybe it's a big difference. All right, this one's for the win rate. This one is for the win rate, guys. That's a weak Typhon. All right, we're gonna impulse the Holisu. This is just to make it faster, by the way. This does not actually matter. I don't think this Holisu does anything, but we just want to get it over with. Typhon cannot out Liger. No, Liger is unaffected by the bounce effect. I mean, what Typhon does is it does make Liger unable to activate its effect, but you cannot use Liger to... So you can't use Liger to destroy the Typhon with effect, but you can just attack it. Is bro trying the timer? They got 12 minutes. I kind of doubt it. Does Vanquish Soul K9 have in-engine outs to Liger? So it's difficult, but theoretically, yes. In theory, if you can establish the field spell to protect your cards from being destroyed by the effect, you can stall long enough to use Heavy Borger's effect to inflict enough damage. That only works realistically against one Liger Dancer, though. It never works against two. Also, the field spell gets usually negated by Silverhound, so that's not like a functioning plan most of the time. But also, the other way would be like Arc Rebellion, the thing that requires 3 level 5s, but usually they just use Liger beforehand. Get rotated! Just go for game. The Rock of the Vanquisher makes it a little bit tricky because you have to attack the defense position Vanquish Souls first. It still is game, I think, because we go Liger attack Su, Liger attack Jiaolong, then you attack Typhon and Rock, and then attack with Tugaris. But I think they do have game. I'm not quite sure what we're cooking up here. What is this link for? Aryuja? No. No way. Oh, a Baoa Q in Lunalight. Okay, I guess we can just destroy the... Okay, why not destroy the Typhon? Oh, is Liger unaffected by Rock? Your opponent's monsters can... Oh, okay. So, if there's ever... I guess this is a good point to explain this. If there's ever a question on whether Liger Dancer is affected, because you might ask, like, why does Typhon affect Liger Dancer, but Rock of the Vanquisher's restriction doesn't? The difference is in the wording of those cards. So Typhon says neither player can activate the effects of monsters with 3000 or more attack. This affects the player because it says neither player can activate. This means you as the player are not able to activate the effect of Liger Dancer. The fact that Liger Dancer is unaffected doesn't matter because Typhon affects you as the player. Rock of the Vanquisher says, while you control a vanquished monster, your opponent's monsters can only target monsters you control with the highest attack. This affects the monsters, which means Liger is unaffected, which is what I missed in this game. They can just attack whatever they want because this card affects the monsters. The same is true for SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight says your monsters cannot attack directly this turn. This means even if you banish with Little Knight, Liger can attack directly because it is unaffected by the restriction of SP Little Knight. If SP Little Knight said something along the lines of you cannot declare that the direct attack this turn, I don't know if there's a card that's worded like this, but like if it said you, the player, cannot attack directly this turn, then you could still not attack. Okay. Lunalight wins. And that is the win for Team FEM, which is the European team in this one. All right, we've seen 2 games, 2 matches. 2 times we've seen EU versus Asia. Once we've seen Asia come out ahead, and once we've seen the EU move on. So that was our top 16. We're going to go on a very short break now. I hope everyone is enjoying the show so far. We've been seeing a lot of different decks so far. No Radiant Typhoon yet, though. I hope that's going to change moving forward. Hope everyone is having a good time so far. We're going to be back with the top 8 very, very shortly. So don't go anywhere, and we're going to find out who's going to be ahead at the end of it. Is it going to be EU? Is it going to be Asia? We're going to find out. We're going to see in a few minutes what's going to be in our top 8. So don't go anywhere, duelists. We will be right back. All right, and here we are. It was indeed a short break, and I'm happy to report that the score is currently completely tied. We started with 50% Asia, 50% EU, and in the top 8, we are still at 50% Asia, 50% EU. And we're gonna jump into this match right here, where we've got Luvisi, Quantal, and Bronas versus Avenge, Camera, and Yule. Let's see what my goat Quantal is cooking today. Have you reacted to the new cards? We are going to take a look at the new Clown Clan cards after the Challenger Cup is done. Yes, I'm aware. Wait, Quantal is also on Lunalight? Why is everyone on Lunalight today? What is going on? Everyone is Lunalight gaming. Alright, Molshami Fuwalos has resolved. We discard Serenade Dance for Goat Leo. We have Perulia as well. I do not think that is going to stop Quantal in any way from going off here. I think we are just going in. Which is just what Lunalight does against these cards. And then I guess the thing we don't know is how good is the opponent's deck into Lunalight. Because there's a big difference which deck you're giving the cards to, right? Like if it's something like Yummy, it might not matter. Even if they have 20 cards in hand, they cannot out 2 Ligers. But then if it's something like Vanquish Soul or Mitsurugi or something like that, then it could very much matter. Radiant Typhoon is legal, yeah. Radiant Typhoon is legal. However, we have not seen one yet. But we are also... We've only been watching the games for like an hour so far. So we have not seen a Radiant Typhoon yet. But hopefully we will see one at some point. Alright, here's the first Kaleido Chick send. So Leo Dancer has hit the graveyard. All right, it looks like we're just going for a relatively simple double Liger setup with not as many draws. This is really strong. Masquerade adds back polymerization. And that is going to be double Liger Dancer with 7 cards in hand for the opponent. After they draw in their draw phase, it's going to be 8 cards. This very heavily, this depends on the deck that they're playing. If they're playing a deck that can out Ligers, then this is good for them. If it's Yummy or Draco Tail, it's really bad. It's Draco Tail. Okay. Maybe we play Psychic End Punisher. A lot of people have been playing Psychic End Punisher recently, but even Psychic End Punisher only outs one at a time. The problem with Psychic End Punisher is that you can summon it, it could be unaffected for the time being, and then you can attack one Liger Dancer, but the problem is then it's Lunalight's turn, and they might be able to like just crash into the Psychic End Punisher with something else, and then the second Liger Dancer can just destroy the Psychic End Punisher, because then it's affected again, right? So Psychic End Punisher is a very effective way to answer one Liger. It does not super, like, it's not super good at outing two. But I guess we'll see. I mean, they've got all the cards in the world. 7 in hand still. So if they've got good outs in their deck, then it might work out. The other thing is, like, in theory, you can recycle Psychic End Punisher, right? If you survive the next turn. If he normals, Quantal will pop. Yeah, but it doesn't pop the Ash Blossom, because Liger Dancer only destroys special summoned monsters. All right, we have Philia Regis here, which can mess with their graveyard a little bit. They are playing as though they have an out, right? They might have an answer here. We'll see. Okay, normal summon Frixel is not a great sign, because normal summon Frixel means we are not normal summoning a tuner. So Psychic End Punisher is off the menu. We did not draw a tuner, maybe. Branded Fusion can also out one with Titanic Lad. True. And so far we haven't seen them link, so they are still able to activate Branded Fusion. And they did get rid of the Silverhound in the graveyard for now, so no way to negate the Branded Fusion from that. Can you Titanic Lad out one, survive a turn, then recycle Titanic Lad the next turn? Possible, yes. Not easy, but with the amount of cards that they have, and if they do it properly, possible, yeah. Does evenly work against Liger? Yes. Or like, I mean, your opponent is gonna keep a Liger, but if they had one evenly here, they would out at least one Liger. Because evenly, it's the same thing we talked about earlier. Evenly forces your opponent, the player, to do it, which means it's not the card affecting the other card, it is just the player performing the action. How does Branded Fusion out Liger? It summons Titanic Lad, which is unaffected by its effect, and bigger. But it's only unaffected for one turn, so you have to like remake it again. Okay, we didn't out it this turn. This is not looking good for Draco Tail. We did not even out one. Liger should have been 4,000. I wonder what exactly made them choose 3,800 for Liger. Okay. And while Quantal thinks about how to approach it, the opponent just leaves. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. That's the first win for the European team. What happened in the other game? We had a win for EU as well, so that is 2-0. And now Bronas is sitting on the other side of the table. Wonderful. So I have to change everything. Love that for me. Alright, Bronas, draw phase, prayers, tribute Aramasa. We've got some Mitsurugi technology going on. Activate Aramasa, activate Saji. Church, great purification. Alright, that means we have a lot of engine in hand already. That probably, even if you had the ritual spell already, wouldn't you still search a second copy in case of Dominus Impulse? Maybe they have 2 ritual spells in hand already. Droll Lockbird is really good. That's the first time that appears today. See if it works here. Discard Jiaolong. Normal Ice Ryziel. I win, you lose. Izuna though. Hold up. Valon is gonna book Node Right. Okay, that's gonna stop Detonator, I guess. And we can't really duo drive. We're gonna destroy the Valon. Valon can now destroy the Node Ryziel. And we have Mitsurugi Trap. I mean, there's only 3 cards in hand though, to be fair. Normal Summon Raisin is a good one to have. Force them to discard. Gonna let the Raisin get negated. Activate Case for K9 for Lantern. Lantern target Lupus, gets hit with the trap. Now Lupus in the grave is gonna be live if we activate the Murakumo. We don't have to though, necessarily. It's probably good to do so though. Chain called by the grave. Okay, this is going to be a grindy game from here. We can go Rock, add back Raisin if we want to, but then the Light Dragon at Ignister survives unless we're willing to sacrifice the Lupus. Oh wait, no, it survives because it's bigger, because of Case. Okay, so what we know from Bronas is Mitsurugi Mirror in hand and the Mitsurugi Trap in the graveyard, which is definitely a win if there's a ritual monster next to it. If they can activate Mirror, they probably win. Normal summon Fuwalos is not that good. Not a great sign. All right, we're gonna go all the way into Jiaolong. We're gonna activate the trap here. Wait, no, that does play. Oh, wait, that does play. Thing is, at least the good thing here for Vanquish Soul is that the Murakumo is still under Called by the Grave. So we don't have a super easy way to clear the whole board. Ooh, Wosu. Wosu is gonna force the Lupus to overlay immediately. So what are we doing here? Nashonite? So what do you take with Nashonite even? You probably have to take a level 4. Stop duo drive. But then I don't know. This feels like a clean sweep from the European team here in the first 3 games. It feels like Mitsurugi should have this one. The Kaiju does not start a chain, the Wosu. It just summons. That's why it outs Liger. If it activated to tribute, then it would not out Liger. All right, here's Duo Drive. And a pre-prep. Yeah. All right, 3-0 for the European team in this one so far. Of course, the team from Asia is going to have a chance to come back, but it is looking pretty good for Quantal, Bronas, and Luvacy, as everyone is going to find their new opponents now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and watch Quantal versus Avenge. I think they've swapped sides again, so I have to switch the scores real quick. All right, Quantal gonna go first again, and we did see it was Luna Light earlier, so that is always scary to go second against. We're starting things off with Foolish Burial. That is definitely a starter. I'm not sure if it's the starter you would start with if you had multiple options available. Yellow Martin. All right, we've seen Quantal push through a Molcharmi Fuwalos earlier and win the game. Looks like it's going to be the same challenge this time around. Normal summon Gold Leo. A really strong start. Foolish plus Gold Leo is very strong. We have Ash Blossom on that one. I wonder if that Ash was drawn off of the Molcharmi, because I feel like it's hard to imagine that that wouldn't have been used on Foolish or Silverhound. At this point, it's relatively late for that Ash, so I would assume that was drawn off of the Wallows here. Black Sheep off of Tenki. Lots of really strong starters here for Quantal. We've got Foolish, we've got Tenki, and we've got Goleo. That is really powerful, really hard to play through. What is the reason for that much Lunalight? I do think Lunalight is a deck that, like, you don't see as much on ladder, but in these sort of like more competitive environments like tournaments and duelist cups, it's a deck that some people really like. Because it first of all, I do think it rewards good preparation if you play it super well, but it also is just like a meta call situation. If you notice that a lot of players are not able to out 1 or 2 Ligers, then it does eliminate a lot of variants from like cards like Maxi or cards like Molcharmi Fualos. If you can just push through and reliably win the game, I think that is something that these players really value. So it's like, it's a combo deck that in theory can win against cards like the Maxi or the Molcharmis, which is something that combo players really like. I think that's why. I mean, tell me another combo deck that can literally make double Liger Dancer with like 3 Fualos draws, right? That is probably the best board you're gonna get against a Molcharmi, right? How much better does it get? It can also go second quite well. That is also true. Like in a lot of matchups right now, you can play going second, but they will just overwhelm you with like follow-up and card advantage. But that doesn't matter if you're playing Lunalight, right? Like even if you can just summon one Liger into a board, you might win the game depending on the matchup. Even if, let's say Yummy, right? Yummy, they can search 15 follow-up Yummies. If you have Liger on the board, they probably can't beat it, right? I think I'm misreading Liger Dancer. Can it be tributed with the Kaiju or Lava Golem? I'm assuming no. It can be tributed with the Kaiju or Lava. It can be tributed. Those cards do not affect the card. It's not a card effect that is active, that is affecting the card. You're just tributing it for a summoning mechanic. You can tribute it for Lava Golem. You can tribute it for a Kaiju. You can tribute it for Wosu, which is the Mitsurugi Kaiju. And you can also link it off for Underworld Goddess or something like that, because those are all like summoning mechanics, not card effect. Stake your soul. I do not think we care about that. Do we have Silverhound? Yeah. It's such a good setup. It really is. For what was it? 3 Fualos draws, and through an Ash Blossom, we get double Liger, and we have the spell negation from Silverhound. It's actually crazy how strong that is. All right, we negate that with the quickness. Am I missing something? Couldn't Quantal on summon of Hollysuit just use Liger quick effect to pop? Yes. In theory, should have been toggled on and used Liger immediately to stop whatever it summons from searching. Yeah, this is the 3rd time we're seeing this exact duel today. Pretty much. Are we gonna see another Typhon loss today? Have we seen a Typhon win today? I don't think so. We've seen 2 or 3 Typhon losses, but no win for Typhon yet. How far behind the TCG is Master Duel releases Cool Tune and Albaz next month? I don't know if they're gonna do that so soon. It feels too soon to do that for Master Duel standards. I don't know, but still a couple of months, I think. What would technically be next up on the list of releases? What came out like right after Radiant Typhoon? Was that would it be the Phantom Revenge set that had Cool Tune? Because Radiant Typhoon is what? Radiant Typhoon is Doom of Dimension, right? After Doom of Dimension was Phantom Revenge, right? As well as the Chronicles deck, right? the Chronicles deck, but I feel like they would be saving that for something special with the, because it's just the Fallen into Virtuous. I don't know if they're randomly going to throw that in a pack. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I'd be down for Cool Tune. All right, it looks like yet again the Lunalight are taking another name. Fallen and the Virtue is probably going to release together with the White Albaz and the Ecclesia Synchro. I could see that, actually. That might be a good call, yeah. Maybe they're going to release the full package together, the full branded package in a pack. I could see that. I'm guessing decks aren't built to deal with tower monsters in engine. There's only very few decks that can at the moment. Like Mitsurugi Ryzeal can, because they can make Light Dragon add Ignister to protect from the Raigeki board wipe, and then they can make Lugaris to like double the attack of something to attack over. Or they can use Wosu. In some lists they play Wosu. Vanquish Soul technically can if they play Arc Rebellion, but usually you just get Liger wiped before you can make it, so it doesn't really work. It's hard. I mean, it's not just the towers, right? In theory, here's the thing, right? In theory, all of the decks can probably out a 3800 towers. The problem is that it also destroys all of your monsters. So at the point where you can theoretically out it, usually Liger Dancer outs its own outs, is the thing. That's why this is so good. If this was just an unaffected monster, it would not be a good deck. But the fact that it outs all the things that out it make it so strong. So basically, you have to be able to out it multiple times. And if your out involves going to the battle phase, then good luck with that, because you get just board wiped in the battle phase. And then your out is, and then even if you can summon another out in main phase 2, well, you can't attack anymore. So it's a really tough one to out. It's a really niche. Like you need some really good ways to out it. You need like protection from destruction, you need unaffected or whatever. Like you need that kind of thing in order to out. And then there's two of them. Or just play Lunalight yourself. Yeah. Or Lava Golem, two of them. I mean, there is ways. It's just the question is, in Master Duel, where there's no side deck, how likely is it that your deck has Lava Golem in it? Most of the decks at the moment don't. And even if you do, you might just not have it. The best way to out it with Draco Tail? Recently, people have been playing Psychic End Punisher, the level 11 synchro that's unaffected. And what they will do is they will try to just normal summon a tuner, which is either going to be Ash Blossom as a level 3 tuner, and then you can synchro together with Arthalion, or any other level 8 fusion. You can make an unaffected Psychic End Punisher, and then you gain some attack points with it, and then it's big enough to run over. And they can't destroy it because it's unaffected. And you can also make it with Cartesia, which is level 4. And then you can go with Gulamel or Pan. That's a level 7. So that's also Punisher. How do you lose life points? You pay 1,000 for Punisher's effect. And then you gain some attack, and that's enough. The other The other way that people do is branded fusion. You can summon Titanic Lad, which is unaffected, and then it's bigger than Liger if you use Nibiru for it. I think you have to combine Albaz and Nibiru, and then it's big enough. The other thing that you can do with pretty much every deck is you can play IP Masquerena plus a Link monster that outs it. So the reason that works is IP Masquerena says the monster you summon with it cannot be destroyed by card effects, right? So what it does is basically, as soon as you have IP Masquerena plus another body on the board, it forces your opponent to board wipe with Liger, because they have to respect like that you could make an out. Like Gorgon of Silophonia is the most common one, probably. Or yeah, you can make IP Access Code or something, like just a big monster. Hita Search a Kaiju is a funny out. That's something that Vanquish Soul can do. They can play Dogoran and Hita. A lot of it is attached to conditions, though, right? Like you can only do it if they only have one, because as soon as they have two, it starts to get really hard. Even if you have an out in your deck. Like the IP Masquerena Gorgon strategy, right? Like you go IP Masquerena in a body, and then if they have Liger, they just wipe it. But then if they have a second Liger, you can't do it again, right? Also, yes, the good Lunalight players, if they can, will put the Ligers like this, so Gorgon cannot point to them. Can Kurikara out Liger? If you can force them to activate the effect, yes. Coral Sword plus Dimensional Fissure outs too. Sure. All right, we are not giving up, it seems. I mean, they are down to 3,200 life points. But I kind of doubt that they're going to survive this turn. If Liger Dancer had Dryden's effect instead, would the deck still be viable? What, if Liger only destroyed one monster instead of all of them? It would probably be a lot worse. This is still a game, right? We can still attack this, and then the other one can still attack twice. All right. And that's another win for the European team in this one. And the other games have already finished. Let's see. Yeah, Luvasi won. Bronas lost, but that means overall they win 5-1. Very convincing win for the European team here. And we saw Lunalight once again taking both games really easily. I mean, not easily, but the football lines there were really impressive. All right, let's jump into Team PG versus Team SVWB, which is once again a Europe versus Asia matchup. Let me quickly gather the score. Which one are we watching? There's one for 1, 2, 2, 1. 3-1. Yeah, I can't see all the games, but 3-1. Wait, was it 3-1 for PG? I don't think so, right? It was 3-1 for team SVWB, I think. Take the score with a grain of salt. Oh, dimension shifter. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sulfa Cord is not very good under shifter either because the pendulum monsters get banished. Yeah. That's probably Vanquish Soul, isn't it? Yeah, there's Valius. Uh-oh. Mad Love. I'm a little surprised we didn't just go Magnamood in battle phase. Because now SP on Valius, of course we can maybe make it unaffected. Oh, Maxi. Aha! Next turn, by the way, you're gonna be under Max C. How about that? How do you like that one, huh? Last turn was shifter. Next, take a little preview of what next turn is gonna be like for you, yummy duelist. And we got Stake Your Soul. Oh, we gotta use our Ash Blossom here. Well, you don't have that Ash Blossom for Max C next turn, though. But I think this ends the turn, yeah. I don't... Why didn't we not just attack the SP with Magnamood? Or the IP, rather. There's another Promoa. Pain Maxi. Do we have another Ash? No, but we have Purge. Okay, actually, hold up. They could win this. They could win against Shifter Maxi, which is crazy. If they have a yummy name in hand, they likely win even. Without a yummy, it depends on how many Sulfa Cords they play, because a bunch of them are banished. I don't even know. I don't know if they can activate Happiness, because isn't the standard ratio 3 Promoa, 1 Cutia, 1 Solfegia? Because if that's the case, 4 of them are already in rotation, which means you cannot resolve the effect of adding 2, because it's not up to 2, you have to add 2. So we can use the other effects, but not really. There's a yummy in hand, though it doesn't matter. There's no yummy. Oh god! They were so close to greatness. Why did you even purge the Maxi if you couldn't summon? Disaster. Normal Mad Love is gonna guarantee the trap card. If you chain SP here, you probably get destroyed because then they still go Vanquish Soul start. SP probably the best balanced card in the last 10 years. I love SP. Now we use Mad Love in damage step. That way the SP cannot chain to it. Now we Magnamoot attack directly. Which puts them to 1100, which is Borger burn range or trap card range. So this is 99% sure a win for Banker Soul. All we have to do is start, search Borger, and burn with it. That does not even give a Fuba draw. Is no one playing Sky Strikers? We haven't seen one, but also after how badly it's been for me yesterday, I'm not surprised that people are not trusting it. If people's Sky Striker testing went anywhere close to what I experienced yesterday, then I'm not surprised no one has brought it, unfortunately. Let's just say I have to fight my way out of the 1400 ratings now because I played Sky Striker all day yesterday. I lost like 80 points. Immediately crafted 3 vision to play it in Sky Striker, but my experience has been kind of miserable. I've been having a really hard time too. It's not just you. I've been having a really hard time with it as well. Is it worth to get Yummy now in this format? If you like the deck, it's very playable right now. Yeah, Yummy is pretty solid. You do have a couple of options for strong decks at the moment. Vanquish Soul K9 is good. Yummy is good. Draco Tail, Mitsurugi. I also think Radiant Typhoon is pretty solid. So like those 5 are like the top decks in the game. So if you like Yummy the most out of those, then yeah, it's worth getting. I'd pick Luna before Yummy. Maybe. It's like that. Those two decks are very different in terms of their playstyle and goal and so on and so forth. So I could see people just like preferring one over the other for playstyle reasons, which is fair enough. Okay, we have, what was that? Maxi resolving against Mitsurugi here. So we're going to perform a Mitsurugi ritual, and that's probably going to be our only special summon this turn. Royal Murakumo looks so good, man. Can I have it? Oh, wait. We're summoning Futsu as well. Okay. Sure. That 3 pass. Alright. I mean, Futsu is good here. Maybe it's worth an extra card. Case for K9. Search Izuna. Just gonna assume that that's gonna be live at some point. Ooh, what? Ooh. Hello? K9 Draco Tail. Now, I've seen people use Izuna in Draco Tail just as a hand trap, but with Case for K9 implies that it's a bigger package. I feel like. Ooh, they got Pan? Mysterion. I mean, the thing about Mysterion is like it's not that easy to use against Mitsurugi because they can either choose to not bring the card back or they can tribute it in response. Like if you go Mysterion effect, target whichever reptile they just brought back and they just tribute it for prayers, nothing gets banished. So it's really hard to actually find a good spot for Mysterion against a good Dracotail player. Against a good Mitsurugi player. And here's the Jokul. Discard another copy of Case. And now we go Magatama, Tribute Murakumo. I don't know why we didn't... I mean, popping the Case gives them the quick play spell, I guess. And that's going to be the end of the turn. We can still activate Lupus, but that's not really... Today I learned Phimena is a 5. Dracotail has every level from 2 to level 7. They have every level once, right? They got Frixel, Mululu, Lucius, Phimena, Urgula, and Pan are 2 through 7. Oh. So since all of this is happening in the battle phase, they are probably surviving this turn, but this is still a tremendous amount of card advantage. How's the Challenger Cup going? It's been good so far. We've seen a bunch of different decks. The only thing that I'm a little sad about is so far we haven't seen a Radiant type. Which I really wanted to see. Alright, before we lock into level 4s or rank 4s, we want to make Dynamondo here to get rid of some of the back row. Since we are in main phase 2 and they are going to get another turn, we want to make sure we can minimize their follow-up as much as possible. Valon is going to take care of another one. Now we make a big detonator. Mitsuraiziel is going to walk away with this one. We even have another Valon on the next turn, potentially. And now we ritual summon back the Futsu. We have the trap card back in hand. This should be the game. Dracotail Horn going to target the detonator. We are going to chain the trap to it. And now one card in hand is not beating this board. And that's another one for the win rate, gamers. Alright, the trap graveyard effect is going to end it here. Tribute Futsu, activate Futsu in the grave. Kusanagi chain blocks it. And we have Murakumo on the board to even, if the last card in hand is some sort of interaction, we could negate it as well with the Murakumo. And with comfortable 8 cards in hand, we're going to end this duel from Mitsurugi. Very impressive. Yeah, this deck is still very powerful. That is a win for Team PG. However, because Team SVWB won here, I think they move on to the top 4. Okay. Now, we have these 2 games still going on. I have no idea what the score is between these 2 teams, but we're just going to jump in. I assume since we only have 8 minutes left on the round, that it's somewhere in the like 4-3, 4-4 territory in terms of scores if they're still playing. Oh, Radiant Typhoon! Now, if this goes into a Malice combo, I'm going to be fuming. Oh, Purulia is not good. Memento. Now, it's not what I was hoping for, but I am not disappointed. Oh. All right, I mean, I guess if there is a combo deck that can somewhat deal with the fact that it gets hit with Purulia and Fuwa, it is Memento. But both together is still tough. And Ash. Uh-oh. Okay, set 2. Eldam in hand, pass. All right, we've got all the answers over there. I see how it is. And we've got the starter. Okay. I think we've seen April on Snake Eye earlier. So we'll have to see exactly where this goes. But this Imperm was really powerful. Oh, they have Bone Party though. Oh, Bone Party is massive. Bone Party is good. That destroys. And now Memento Fusion. Oh, hold up. Twin Dragon, destroy Horned. Get Sleepy. And Dark. This is a lot. Twin Dragon is going to revive Gaddock. Gaddock is going to add back Horned. We can still use Poplar. Activate original. Send field spell. Get Ash. Ash for Poplar. Poplar effect. Now Sleepy comes in. Sleepy effect. Use for a big... This is... Hold up, this is a lot of pops. Is it 4 pops? Can they get another monster or is it just 3 pops? Boom, 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 boom. Rapid fire. Dude, I love Memento, man. This is so awesome. All right, last card in hand. Be a Bellstar. Is there Fiendsmith in there as well? Oh no, not the Dark Magician of Destruction. For Magician Souls. Oh, that last card in hand, the Bellstar, man. Oh my god. This brings me back, but not in a good way. I mean, yeah. Purulia, Fuwa, Ash, Imperm, Millennium Starter, Snake Eye, Ash, Diabellstar. No, Poplar, Diabellstar. Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? Okay. I think that means that the European team moves on. I wasn't quite sure what the score was in that set, but it seems like that was the last match of the top 8. So we're going to be back with our semifinals relatively shortly. Going to be a very short break because I do think all of the teams are finished. So just a couple of minutes for them to set up the next round. So don't go anywhere. Hope everyone is enjoying the tournament so far. And we will be back with the top 4 in a moment. Okay, we are back with... Oh. Oops. I pressed the pause screen for a second. My bad. We are back with the semifinals, and I am happy to report that it could not be any more even in terms of the split between EU and Asia, because we have two teams from the EU against two teams from Asia here, and also we've got both matchups are EU versus Asia. So we've got Luvasi, Quantal, and Bronas versus Chi, Chun, and I can't pronounce this unfortunately, but they are Team EU versus Team Asia, and down here we also have team, I believe this left side is Asia, right side is EU. Let's see what they are bringing. All right. Do we know about the decks? We've seen some of them in previous rounds, so we know some of their decks, but not all of them. All right, we've got Yummy here. Any Radiant Typhoons? There's one Radiant Typhoon Memento in top 4, at least. All right, Ash on Cupsy, but we've already resolved the other Cupsy, so we probably don't care too much. Oh, we've got Herald of Orange Light here. Confirming that it is Sulfur Cord Yummy. And we value the we valued the search of the Cupsies so much that we even discard our Sulfur Cord engine. But I feel like we kept, I mean, we clearly kept the Premoa in hand and didn't normal summon it because we wanted the Herald of the Orange Light to be live, I guess. So I guess what we're gonna see is just quote unquote a pure Yummy board because they won't have access to the Sulfur Cord cards, but even just a pure Yummy board is gonna be really hard to break with what's gonna be 5 cards in hand only. All right, we've got Herald, we've got Cupsy Yummyway, and we've got Sprite Elf, and we've got Surprise Set, and also another set, which is probably Imperm called by or Purge, which is gonna be really tough. Not impossible though, depending on how this goes. Let's see. Not entirely impossible. Oh, never mind. It is impossible. Okay. All right, that was a win for that. Okay, but they both won on Team JTF or JFY. Okay, let's see how the third game is going. Gold Sarcophagus. Uh-oh. 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 Dormouse makes the first appearance. Link Decoder, Wicked, Banish, Chessy Cat. Yeah, this still looks like it ends on a lot. We have Droll and Lock Bird, which stops nothing because it gets cross-outed. I guess it's fair to assume that at this point they don't have a Maxi in hand that you need to cross out, so we can just cross that out. And then we go Transcode Talker. Transcode Revive Wicked. There's White Binder. BWC. Activate TB11. Banish Binder. Summon March. Binder gets ashed. Okay. Not a bad ash at all. But we still have backup at Ignister. Search Wizard. Discard Hualos. There's Cryptor. Now we activate Wizard. Firewall Dragon. Adds back March here to hand. Now we can still draw with Chessie. And here's the Allied Code Talk. Alright, this is a really strong board still. Lucius gets hit with an Imperm. No 5 mana in response. But we have 5 mana actually. Okay, why would you not chain that to Imperm? Even, I mean, even if it does get negated, but like, why not chain it to Imperm to get your free search? Okay. Oh, well. And that's the 3rd win for Team Asia in this one. Really quick. Really quick 3 wins for the team here. Wait, did I just join the Malice player again? I sure did. Okay. I was focused on watching T-Gym because I didn't know what they were playing. Because we didn't see them, but we just get to see Dormouse again. Well, I want to at least know what the opponent is playing. Well, whatever it is that they're playing, it's not looking too hot. Alright, Cyber's Wicked. Wicked is not the worst thing here because, I mean, it does search, but it searches backup, which we've already used. The effect to search. But Chessie can also still return. We still haven't drawn with Chessie Cat either. Weren't they on Memento Radiant Typhoon? I think that was a different player. I'm not 100% sure, actually, now that you say it. I thought that was the player we saw last game. The one who surrendered to the full Yummy board, I think, was the Radiant player. Backup was summoned by the spell, not by itself. I think so. So they can still summon it. They just can't search with it. I think. All right, how often are you gonna resummon that Chessy cat? Until you decide to draw with it. I think now is the time. Now we're gonna use Firewall to add back 2 cards. And then we're gonna banish one with Chessy. Because I think at the moment their only Malice card is March here. And they don't want to banish that one because they've already added one back from banish. They can't add it back again and they want to hold it for the opponent's turn. That's why they're doing this, I think. Is Quantle still in? Yes, Quantle is in the other top 4 match. Alright, draw 2 with Chessy. Solid 7 cards in hand. That's how things should be. Activate backup. Has the Mitsurugi FTK shown up yet? No. We've seen a lot of Mitsurugi, but no one has been playing that version. IP Mask Arena, plus Allied Code Talker, plus March Hare, plus 6 other cards. Yeah, I don't know what kind of deck they would have to be playing to beat this, but we'll find out, I guess. That Perulia is slightly late to the party, let's say it like that. Oh, it's actually Radiant Typhoon. This is the first time we're going to see Radiant Typhoon. And it's against Malice going second against the full board, drawing Perulia as card number 6. That is very unfortunate. But it also, I'm very happy to see that this deck made it this far, even though they're probably not winning this game. But that means they must have been winning some games before this one. Even though we didn't see them, that makes me happy. Or this could also just be the Memento version of it. The Memento could actually break this maybe. But it would still need to draw very well. Okay, we're chaining MTPO7 here. Banishing the Mystical Space Typhoon actually does matter. Because it allows them to special summon all of the Radiant Typhoons if it's in graveyard. So it being banished is pretty good. It is this is the Memento player. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Breaking the Allied Code Talker plus SP plus Card Scriptor is really hard with 4 cards for Memento. Plus, they've probably drawn non-energy. Pain Bone Party. Negate with Allied Code. Resolves. So goodbye Bone Party. And goodbye Goblin. And GG's. All right. Well. The Perulia earlier could have maybe made a difference, but it was unfortunately the draw for turn. All right, Sulfur Cord Happiness, discard Droll Lockbird here. So far, the team from Asia is up 4-0, by the way, so they all they need to win is 1 more out of the next 5 to move on to the finals. The European team is very much on the back foot here. And this is once again the team going, the Asian team going first uninterrupted. So it's not looking very good here. Let's say it like that. Yep, this is a challenge. What deck is taking the challenge? Branded Draco Tail. Branded gets ashed. Normal Mululu. Activate Ketu. Get hit with Herald. Chain Mululu. Chain Kulia. Negate that. Negate that. Now Elf. And that's that. Yep. I mean, unfortunate turn of events here for the team from EU, but they were 5-0'd in this one. I mean, it was rough. It was rough. So our first team in the finals is from Asia. Let's see what the score is in the other match. We have 2-1. 3-1 actually for team SVWB, which is also the team from Asia. 3-1. It looks, honestly, at the moment, it looks likely we're going to see an Asia versus Asia final. But let's see. Not over until it's over. Bonfire for X Ryziel. And loop with Laplacian before we go for Habakiri. So this is Ryziel Mitsurugi again. And we did hit Jokul, which is a really powerful starter, but... right now in this semifinals, we see a lot of decks just going first completely uninterrupted, which is pretty tough for the players going second right now. They are struggling. Yep. I mean, okay. Alright, same thing here apparently. Oh, Nibiru gets negated. I thought it was maybe Nibiru plus Valor or something. Purulia, 6th card again. Bonfire for X. All right, maybe there's a slight chance here. Valon, Chainlink 2. Gonna take burn damage here. I'm not gonna destroy the board, obviously. Olisu to take control. Mitsurugi Ritual, Chain Borger to draw. Summon Murakumo. Hold up. Chain Forced Release, Chain Rock to add back. Make Hound, destroy. Normal Summon Sword, Chain Impulse. Summon Fire Attacker. Now Fire Attacker gonna draw 2 more. Oh no, it was Special Summon Ice because the X was destroyed, right? It's not impossible, yeah, this game. I mean, the problem is, like, there's 8 cards in hand. So you kind of have to win the game this turn. It's not enough to clear the board, right? King of the Feral Imps. There's no Lupus in the graveyard yet. So right now we can't really Izuna for interruption because we don't have room. If we have Lupus in hand directly, then it does work, but then we do give a draw for Purulia. No Dryzeal, send Nibiru. Exiton. I mean, Exiton also guarantees you cannot win this turn, though. Right? Like that's a problem with Exiton. Is like you cannot go per game. Yeah, the trap is also active, so you're not destroying the Vanquish Souls. You would really only be destroying the Fire Attacker and the Field Spell. Because Hound also can't be destroyed by card effects. Why is it called Fire Attacker if it's always in defense? A good question. That is a good and valid question. I don't have an answer to that. Because there's no fire on the field? Oh, because there's no fire for the Fire Attacker to attack at the moment. That's why it's okay for it to be in defense. Because it attacks the fire, but there's no fire. All right, fair enough, yeah. That's also a good point. Good counter argument. I'm glad we figured it out. Okay, I don't really see how this is winning yet, but we are performing things. Okay, we're in the battle phase now. Imagine we have like enemy controller to take the Hound because it's targetable. Okay. Brona surrenders, and that is going to, if I didn't miscalculate or miscount, that means it's 4-2 at the moment for the team from Asia. which means that Team Bronas, Quantal, and Luvacy has to win all 3 games if they want to make it to the finals, but they can theoretically still do that. It is possible, but it is really, really difficult. All right, and we already have a team from Asia waiting in the finals. So if Team SVWB is able to win just 1 out of these games, then we're going to have an Asia versus Asia final. All right, let's see. We have Quantal going first. That is a good sign for Quantal. Let's see if the Lunalight can take this last game. Normal summon Kaleido Chick is not necessarily combo yet. Depends on some other factors. Sends Yellow Martin. Yellow Martin does not activate here because it is sent for cost. Activate Wolf. Oh, this is a weird way to combo. This is not the ideal way to start things off. We're gonna go Martin, bounce that Wolf. It does. Does it work? We chain Moltrami Fuwalos here. Maybe threatening a Maxi right after. We still chain the Called by the Grave. Is there a Maxi in response? No, it was a bluff. We bluffed the Maxi by using the Fuwalos early to bait out a Called by Aranash, but we did not fall for it. There is no Maxi in hand. So this could be, it could be Dugaris to draw 2 if you're really desperate. It could be Tiger. No, is Tiger King 2 Beast Warriors? They are both Beast Warriors. Okay, we can Tiger King. Tiger King for Tenki for Fractal for Silverhound will combo, I'm pretty sure. Especially with the Wolf in hand already. Yeah, this is going to be combo. All right, here's Tenki. That's Fractal. Here's Gold Leo. Since we already have Wolf in hand and Kaleido Chick in rotation under this, I mean, this it could get Tiger or Black Sheep. Yeah, Black Sheep. Discard Serenade Dance. That is a wonderful discard. Really good. Yeah, it's looking likely that Quantal is going to be able to summon double Liger in this game, which I don't think we've seen Quantal or any Lunalight player today, for that matter, lose as soon as Liger Dancer has hit the board. We've seen Lunalight lose, but we have never seen Lunalight lose when Liger has hit the board. It's never been outed. So at the moment, looking phenomenal for Quantal here, which is going to let the team stay in the game if this game is won. What does the trap do? You banish it from the grave to discard a card and then summon 1 from the deck. A Lunalight, which is a really strong extender. And also the difference between Serenade... So Lunalight Perfume can banish itself from the grave to discard a card and then search a Lunalight, which is technically also really good. The difference between those two is that Lunalight Perfume discards for cost, and Lunalight Serenade Dance does not discard for cost. It sends via card effect, which matters for a couple of Lunalight monsters. There's a couple of Lunalight monsters that trigger when they're sent to the grave by card effect, which do trigger if they are sent for Serenade Dance, but they wouldn't activate when they are discarded for Perfume, because Perfume is cost. Which in some spots is significantly better. Not always, but often. Interesting. Liger Dancer. Liger Dancer. Ah, we have Black Sheep to add back the Wolf anyways. Okay, yeah. That adds back Polly. Black Sheep adds back Wolf. Does Wolf just make a second Liger Dancer here immediately? Because we could go through Perfume Dancer. We haven't summoned that yet. No, we just make the Liger immediately. Okay. I mean, sure. Just double Liger. Call it a day, I suppose. Sure. Right now, we do not have the Silverhound negation, is worth pointing out, because Silverhound needs a Lunalight fusion in the graveyard to negate, which we do not have right now. But we are going to have it as soon as one Liger Dancer uses its effect. Doesn't matter. They don't have any relevant spell traps. Well, I don't remember exactly what they were playing. I don't know what that deck was. It's GG. Okay. Draco Tail K9. Oh yeah. Okay. It is Draco Tail Lucius. And most of the Draco Tail decks have a really hard time outing Liger Dancers, let alone two. We're fusing Noroi with Lucius for Arthalion. This feels rather desperate. Gonna add back 5 mana with Arthalion. Lantern effect is going to bring that Noroi back. Okay. Now, is this worth using a Liger Dancer on? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we have two anyways. It is a lot of card advantage if you let this go through. So in theory, if they have an out, this gets them a lot closer to it. And now we might as well use the Silverhound on this Ketu Draco Tail. Silverhound does negate the activation, which is worth pointing out in this matchup because Ketu Draco Tail can be activated another time if they have another one. It is Rahu for now. What's a normal summon that could out Liger like Grand Maju? I mean, yeah. You'd have to normal summon a monster with 4,000 attack, which is not very many. Will you continue the stream after the finals? We're gonna still look at the new Clown Clan cards. Yeah. Did you see the OCG list? Did they get one? I don't think so. I probably would have heard of it if they got one, but... No, I did not see it. But this feels like something I would not miss. Usually. So I think you made that up. Did we see the Clown Clan support? We're gonna take a look at the Clown Clan support together after the tournament is done. I'm gonna stream a little bit longer so we can take a look at the card. I'm really looking forward to it because I love the idea of that deck, and I'm excited for it. I haven't seen the card. I've just seen that they've gotten new cards, but I haven't seen the cards themselves yet, so I'm excited for that. All right, we in fact did not out Liger Dancers. We didn't even out one. So, yeah. Battle phase. Attack. Big fan of Tribute Summon Vanity's Ruler, I see. Come on, you know that's not how I'm gonna play the deck. You know I love that deck because it just draws a bunch of cards and grinds like crazy. Don't do me like that. All right, and that is another victory for the Liger Dancers. Once again, the trend continues. We have not seen a single Liger Dancer being outed. The other games have finished already, though. They all won! Oh my, what? They reverse swept? They came back from 2-4 into 5-4? That's crazy. Okay, so we do have EU versus Asia finals. All right, no way. Take. Okay, awesome. All right, finals is EU versus Asia because Bronas, Quantla, and Luvici managed to reverse sweep. They came back from 2-4 and made it 5-4. I was never bought. I never doubted. I was never worried. I always knew we were gonna have EU versus Asia in the finals. All right. Okay. Cool. I don't think we're gonna need a break before the finals because I mean both of the matches are done, so we should be starting any moment now, I guess. Technically the timer is still running for the semifinals. Okay. Finals. Up. You reset the scores. And now we're just gonna have to wait for the clock to reset and for the finals to begin. Which decks besides Clown Clan should get support in the new set? What was the set called again? Chaos Origin, right? What kind of hint does that give you? Because there is a hint as to what deck gets support in the name, right? Like in Doom of Dimensions, it was DDD support. In Burst Protocol, it was Dragon Link support, like Rocket. What is Chaos Origin hinting at? Chaos Origin. Chaos, I mean, Chaos would obviously hint at like the new, like the Black Luster Soldier stuff. Was that from Chaos Origin? I know we've already looked at those cards. Like the new Black Luster Soldier and a Dark Magician of Chaos support. That was from that set, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to be in Chaos Origin. What else? What else could Chaos Origin be hinting at? I mean, the Chaos part is already kind of like covered with the Black Luster and Dark Magician of Chaos, but what about the Origin? I feel like Origin is just a hint at like the fact that the archetypes in it are very retro, right? Like we're talking way back in the day with like Blackluster Soldier and Dark Magician of Chaos, like really old school stuff, really archetypes. So maybe they do more of that. What's another really old card that they could make an archetype around, like they did with Mystical Space Typhoon and Call of the Haunted? Like, wouldn't that be a really cool concept for a pack like this, if they're like going back to the roots, back to the origins, like making another really old school archetype? Book of Moon would be interesting. Yeah, I guess they kind of, I mean, aren't spell books kind of like an archetype themed around the books already though? But maybe like it would be hard. I was thinking like maybe they make an archetype around all of the books, but then if you make an archetype that can, for example, search book cards, it would search all of the spell books as well, which would be hard to balance, right? I guess you could say a book quick play spell, but even then you could search a lot of the spell books, like Spellbook of Judgment, right? A better Dark-Hole Dragon. Ooh, an archetype, hear me out, an archetype around Dark-Hole that allows you to activate Dark-Hole as a quick play from your hand on your opponent's turn, and that's like your main way of interrupting, is like you activate Dark-Holes as quick effects, which is basically just Fire King. Okay, anyways, our finals is about to begin. Let's jump in. We've got Team JFY from Asia versus Team Yumi is their name? I don't know. Quantal, Luvacy, and Brones from EU. Let's jump into this one. Ooh, okay. Not a great start for EU here in this one. I believe this is Mitsuraiziel bricking. Unfortunate. And we have a Time Maiden here, so it is Sulfa Court Yummy. It's very funny to me, if you really think about it, that special summoning Time Maiden, which is a Time Lord card, tells you that the deck in question is Sulfa Court Yummy. I don't know, something that it's a little funny to me that like it's not a Sulfa Court card, it's not a Yummy card, but when that card is summoned, you're like, okay, that's a Sulfa Court Yummy deck. Why has this deck not really existed in TCG? Oh, it exists. Like, people have been playing this deck in the TCG. It was decently popular. I would even say this deck is relatively viable in TCG right now. It is one of the decks that makes up better for the loss of Herald of the Arclight in the TCG, because it still summons a negation relatively early. Like, I'm actually surprised that the other versions of Yummy are so popular and this one isn't right now. Like, it should be played more, I feel. It existed at the same time as Mitsuyami, so it was never the top choice. I mean, it does exist next to Mitsuyami in Master Duel right now. You could be playing Mitsuyami in Master Duel right now as well. Which has kind of flop in Master Duel compared to TCG, right? Like, I barely see Mitsuyami as a deck. Is the one of Maxi really the deciding factor between those decks, though? Like, for example, like, if you use Maxi as an argument, like, is Sulfur Yami really that much better into Maxi than Mitsuyami? Because, like, yeah, you have more non-engine, I guess, but at the same time, like, the Mitsu cards are so much better into Fuwalos, which is also very popular. Dominus Impulse on Sulfur Cord Happiness. Okay. So we did draw 2 Dominus Impulse. We set one of them, it got popped. Now the other one might, I mean, it doesn't really save us here. Save is definitely the wrong word. Because now that Impulse has been activated from hand, we don't have to worry about anything anymore, really. Like, no Nibiru is possible, so we can just go in for the Yummy combo. And that should seal the deal. It should be relatively easy to put up 8,000 damage here. What does Impulse turn off? Impulse turns off Light, Wind, and Earth. So no Nibiru and no Bell. And this is game on board. All right. And that is the first win for Team Asia in the finals. Unfortunate hand here going first for Lubusi, though. Didn't have a play. Let's see what's going on between Jihan and Bronas here. Bronas going first. Let's see if they can find a play. Yep, Abakiri. Abakiri for Saji gets ashed, though. Aramasa gets impermed. And Ice Ryziel. Activate Dugaris. Draw 2, discard 1. Special X. Okay, do we have Mitsu plays, though? Or is it just Ryziel stuff? Oh, it's just a big detonator. Oh, that's not great, though, because we also don't draw next turn. Oh, it's Malice, but it's Malice against the big detonator. But Wicked. Oh, Wicked. Ash on Wicked. Dormouse. Dormouse. Banish March here, add back to hand. So Wicked kind of needs to stay there, though, right? As soon as you link off the Wicked, the detonator is going to start popping everything. So Wicked protects Cyber's monsters, it points to, and itself. So we have to basically play within these 3 zones here. Everything we summon outside of those zones is going to get popped from detonator, and we have to keep the Wicked around. Which is going to slightly limit the options here, but it probably still is doable somehow. Access code can bypass it? Yes, we could make, at some point, we could make an access code and then pop twice, and the detonator can't respond to it. But also there is an Eclipse Twin under the detonator, so it could come back once. So we'd have to have a lot of different attributes to pop the detonator often enough. All right, here's Whitebinder under the Wicked. It should be game if the last card in Bronas' hand is no disruption. But we have seen Bronas... I think we've seen Bronas on the Nibiru earlier. I think there was one game where Bronas went second and used Nibiru against the Ripper and it got negated. I think I remember seeing that. So if that's the last card in hand, maybe. Who knows? Maybe this detonator can just make it awkward enough to the point where Nibiru could do something. But then, yeah, you don't draw next turn. That's true. That's a good point. And even then, Malice has 4 cards in hand. So it would be a very uphill battle, even if there is a Nibiru in hand. I don't see how it's winning. Isn't the last card in hand Habakiri? No, that's in the grave. Alright, here's Heart Scripter, and Heart Scripter can banish the detonator, so we're probably gonna have to self-pop. And then bring it back with Eclipse Twin, but that's gonna reduce the number of materials down to 2. Was Dugaris banished off Binder? Oh, Dugaris was banished off Binder. Yeah, then they can't even self-pop the detonator. Yeah, very smooth. Nice. Well played. Here's access code. Alright, we're gonna banish the detonator instead of destroying with access code. They're gonna self-pop in response to make sure it hits the grave. Not that it matters. I don't know how they plan on surviving this turn. I guess Nibiru could do it. Pain cross out. Or Achichi Adignister. Okay. I'm not sure if we're just showing off the cross out. Don't really know what the point of this is. Ah, no, I actually see. They wanted to self-banish their own crossout with Heart Scripter. But you don't have to banish with Cryptor. You could just say no. Right? Heart Scripter can shuffle and then you can banish, I think? Or is it mandatory with Cryptor? You have to... Oh, the trap is the one where it's optional, right? The trap is the one where it's optional to banish. I see. Okay. The crossout makes sense then. Because they wanted to... Because the detonator would have been gone, they wanted to banish their own crossout. I see. Okay. Alright, we have Prophet going first here against Squantle, and currently the team is leading 2-0. I mean, we've seen the EU team come back from a larger deficit last time, so let's see how this one goes. But we have Yummy going first with Cupsy Yummy. Alright. Now, this matchup is typically pretty favored for Lunalight because, I mean, the overall situation is usually if one Liger Dancer hits the board, Yummy has really hard time outing it. But we are going to see a pretty strong Yummy combo here, even through this Ash Blossom. Let's see, we got Metal Marcher. Bring back Lollipo Yummy Way. Here's Herald of the Arclight. Activate Surprise. Revive Marshmallow. Add back Surprise. Now we see Sprite Elf with no target protection. It's just down here. Okay, but I guess against Lunalight, it doesn't really matter. And now 5 cards in hand for Quantal. Start with Gold Leo. Negates it with Arclight. Gets destroyed. Activates Perfume to bring it back. We chain for Snatchy and Cupsy. Cupsy draws. Snatchy synchros into Cupsy Yamiway. Akroki destroys Gold Leo. Perfume. Discard Serenade Dance. Hold up. Get Ash. Masquerade sends. We get Lunalight Fuge. This is winnable. This is winnable. It's a very odd Herald of the Arclight negation as well against Gold Leo, I will say. Activate Lunalight Fusion. That's going to be Perfume Dancer. Bring back Martin. Bring Gold Leo to hand. Add Perfume. Fractal for Silverhound. Now, as soon as a fusion monster hits the graveyard, the Silverhound is going to be a negation for the surprise. Cookie. I think the Herald Floodgate alone beats them. Herald Floodgate alone is really strong. Okay, we're setting face down those two, but we can still use Perfume here. Neither of the Perfume effects are once per turn, and there also still is... I think the last card in hand is Lunalight Wolf, right? I feel like I've seen a wolf somewhere. Did I just imagine a wolf being somewhere? I think so. Ah, whatever. This is absolutely winnable for Lunalight, if not already won. Depending on the card in hand and whether Prophet has more non-engine. This is not looking great. If no hand trap, I have Liger, I think. So, Perfume, search Wolf. At the moment, there's no Leo Dancer. Wolf. Yeah, I think so. I think it does. Perfume discards a Lido Chick. For Black Sheep. Polymerization. Is he chatting while playing? Yeah. It's live, yeah. Alright, Poly for Perfume Dancer. Activate Kaleido Chick to add Polymerization back to hand. I don't. I think you did. I think it was Lunalight Perfume, search Wolf instead of Black Sheep. Activate Wolf. Wolf makes a Perfume Dancer. And you keep Kaleido Chick in hand. You don't discard Kaleido Chick. You go Perfume Dancer, and then Perfume Dancer returns Wolf to your hand and specials out the Kaleido Chick from your hand, and then Kaleido Chick sends Leo Dancer, and then you can reactivate the Wolf to make Liger. If you didn't use, I don't think you used the Perfume Dancer effect to bounce yet. I think that was the, I didn't want to say it because I knew you were in chat and I didn't want to, you know, influence the tournament, but I think that was, that's what I saw to make a Liger. But it happens. All right, that is 3 wins for the team from Asia. Oh, can we see the game? Hello. Yes. All right. Oh, no, wait a minute. Disconnect. Okay. Finished. All right, someone disconnected. I guess we're just gonna restart. Let's just watch the one up here. Sulfachord Cutia is a one-of usually because it's not full combo on its own, but it of course still serves as a great way to start your plays and then make a make the yummies live in hand. Actually, it can one card combo, right? Hold up, because you can summon this. And then you make Almirage. Yeah, it is combo actually if you play Almirage. You special it. You don't need Almirage. You can just make Link Rebo. What am I saying? Maxi is good though. So yes, Ash Blossom. Okay, Impulse on this will stop the full combo. I mean, it stops everything if there's no Yummy in hand now. And the Yummy cannot be Marshmallow. It has to be Cookie, Lollipop. There it is, Lollipop. All right. So Ashir maybe could save Ronas if there's not enough Yummies in rotation, but it looks like the cups he's resolving. Yep. Okay. Search 2, discard a... Called by the Grave? Okay, we had everything ready, I see. We just opened Sulfur Court card, Yummy card, Called by Ash Blossom. Alright, then. And then the last card in hand... This is really scary, because the last card in hand apparently is better than Called by the Grave. What is the last card in hand? We ain't winning this best of 9. It's not looking good for Europe right now. It looks like, I mean, this game is not over, but if Yummy wins this one, then it's 4-0 for Asia, and they only need one more. And I mean, we've seen this European team come back from 2-4, but from 0-4 is a very tough ask. Not impossible, but a very tough ask. We'll see. Did they lose all the coin flips? Nah, we saw Luvacy win the coin flip, but then they didn't have a play, which was double unfortunate. But the other ones, I think they have lost coin flips, yeah. Actually, no, I think Bronas won a coin toss as well. And it was the game where I think Bronas got hit with... What was it? It was Ash on Saji, Imperm on Aramasa, and it was the game where it was just Detonator Pass, right? It was just Detonator Pass against Malice, and they lost that. So it's actually not... They so far, this is game number 4, and we've seen 2-2 in coin. All right, now here's the thing, right? This is a full Yummy board, and Bronas only has 3 cards left in hand, which is really, really tough. I'm not gonna lie. At the same time, if there is a deck that has a naturally kind of solid matchup against Yummy, it is Mitsurugi. But it is hard, just because we don't have enough cards, I feel like. But if we start with like X Ryziel here, maybe. But like we can't even target on that's not how you do it. Normal summon Fuba, which we drew for turn. Oh man, it's not like that would have made a difference though, to be fair, last turn, because we know they had Called by the Grave. They discarded it. No, not Typhon. No, not like this. Oh well. I don't think this is going to be a Typhon W. Yep, end phase. Yummy surprise. And that is GG. Okay. For the 0, let's see how the other games are going. The other 2 are still playing. Let's watch Luvacy versus Jihan once again. The European team now has to win every single game to win the series. They have to come back from a 0-4. And this one is Malice going first. Oh! Alright, peak Malice gameplay. Let's go. Alright, maybe they can have this one. Maybe they can have this one. Ice Ryziel gets hit with Impulse, gets hit with Reboot. Alright. Alright. Laplation answers the Cult by the Grave. Oh yeah, another yeah, okay. All right, well they get one. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they get one. I don't know what could go wrong here for this to not work. I can't think of anything. I feel like this is one, okay? I think we can all agree that even there's no way Nibiru changes anything about the outcome of this game. There's no way. Yep, okay. All right, we're not going down 5-0. We're not going down 5-0. That's good. That's good. All right, the hope is alive. The hope is alive. Let's check in with Quantal. Quantal is going second. Ramoa. All right, we've seen this combo a couple of times today, but it looks like they are pulling off the full thing here. We've got Kulia. Link Karibo. Then we Pendulum Summon. We make Cupsy Yummy Way. Alright. Discard Marshmallow because we can't special it anyways. Add Surprise with Cupsy. Make Metal Marcher. Metal Marcher revive Cupsy Yummy Way. Here's the Herald of the Arclight. Snatchy plays Field Spell. Field Spell bring back Cupsy. Lollipo. Right Elf. Surprise to cycle the Marshmallow. SP Little Knight. Set 2. Pass. Alright. Huff won the break. Let's see if Little Knight can do it. Activate Imperm on Herald of the Arclight. We negate it with Kulia. Normal summon Silverhound. Attack over Herald of the Arclight. Activate Masquerade. Chain. Right now, the premise is just summon one Liger Dancer and you probably still win the game. Can we do that? We get purged on Martin. Activate Goods. Goods for Perfume. Perfume. Discard. Serenade Dance. Get Ashed. I mean, Ash. Full Yummy Sulfur Cord combo plus Ash plus Purge is tough. But we are still playing. Is it maybe possible? Chain Snatchy, those two can still get flipped face down. We have normal summoned already. We had to normal summon Silverhound. Here's Cookie Yummy Way. Silverhound can still activate Silverhound because that was normal summon and then banished. So we can still use the graveyard effect of Silverhound. And now the Gold Leo is going to get booked anyway, so you might as well use it to add the Silverhound back just for extra material for whatever. I don't know if it's useful or not. Here's Cookie to put face down both of those. Heavy Poly could do it. Last card in hand, Heavy Poly, honestly. We summon one from deck, but that hardly... I don't know what we can summon. We can summon, what, Emerald Bird to draw a card? No, we summon Kaleido Chick. Kaleido Chick effect. Name is now Leo Dancer. What? Oh, they don't have Lollipo in rotation. That's nice. They can't banish that. They still have a pop though. But it's kind of, isn't it kind of weird that they're popping now after the Kaleido Chick has sent the Leo Dancer? Why are we waiting? Now we can search Lollipo and put it in the graveyard so Cookie can tag out into it. Still, it's hard. It's hard. But Heavy Poly does it, I think. I think Quantal has enough enough Lunalights in rotation that Heavy Poly makes Liger. Or Lunalight Fusion, for that matter. Black Sheep. Black Sheep. Black Sheep for Polymerization. Polymerization for Perfume Dancer. Perfume Dancer can still search Perfume. Maybe. Let's see. Use the 2 from the... Can we still search with Martin? No, we have already. Add Perfume. Yeah, I think that's it. Bring back Snatchy, bring back Lollipo. Lollipo can now banish from the graveyard the Perfume. And then I think Yummy Surprise bounce both of these should be it, unless the last card in hand is exactly Heavy Polymerization. But I don't know if this would be played this way if the last card in hand was Heavy Polymerization. I feel like we would have done that earlier. Or maybe it is. Or Lunalight Wolf, actually. Wolf would also do it. Nope, it's not. Okay. It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt by my Captain Quantal, but not enough, unfortunately. The full Yummy Sulfur board plus Purge plus Ash was unfortunately not beatable. It is what it is. We knew last card silver. Oh, okay. I forgot. Oh well. Congratulations to let me name, what was their team name? JFY was their team name for winning this iteration of the Challenger Cup. It was a fun one. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any Radiant Typhoons. I really would have loved to see some, but it is what it is. Apparently, the deck is still a little bit, or I mean, doesn't necessarily mean it's outclassed because we just saw no one put their trust in it. I guess if no one played the deck, then you can't really say it underperformed or whatever. It just wasn't something that people chose. But it's all right. So what we did see today is a very strong performance from Yummy, Mitsurugi Raziel, and Lunalight. I think those three were like performing pretty outstandingly well. We saw Vanquish Soul definitely being played, but not the most successful. I think it was okay. And then Draco Tail was also being played, but Draco Tail I think overall didn't do very well today. Also Malice was on the winning team's lineup, which is news, I guess. Whether it's good or bad news depends on you. But Malice was also able to win the tournament. Okay, this is not going to be the end of the stream yet. We are going to switch overlays in a second, and we're going to take a look at the new clown cards, because people have been asking me to do that, and I'm down to stay a little bit longer to take a look at those. So if you've watched until now, thank you for tuning in to today's Challenger Cup. Thank you all for playing, and congrats once again to all the teams that did well. I hope you enjoyed the Challenger Cup portion of the stream, and you are welcome to stick around for some new card reactions for the TCG. I just gotta really quickly run the end of the Challenger Cup screen, so it's gonna be a short break of like 10 seconds, and then we're gonna switch over to that. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys after the ending screen in a few seconds for the new cards. All right, here we are. Welcome back, gamers. It's been so long. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm really excited for this. I genuinely am. I am very, very excited for this because I'm really looking forward to this deck. Now, is it maybe because this deck draws a lot of cards and seems very grindy? Yes, that might be the reason, but I really want the Clown Clan deck to succeed. At the moment, it's being played a little bit in the OCG, but not a crazy amount. It's definitely not among the top tier decks at the moment. But I guess we'll see if these new cards from Chaos Origin are going to change that. Now, the first one here is a new level 5 Pendulum monster, and the important thing to point out for this card is it's actually not from Chaos Origin. It's some sort of promo. I don't know exactly where they're getting this. This is like the other two. I think it's 3 cards total. The other 2 are from Chaos Origin, which is the next core booster set. But this one is some sort of promo somewhere, which I guess we don't know exactly where we're getting this card. But Clown Clan Hat, level 5 light Beast Warrior Pendulum Effect monster, 1900 attack, 800 defense, pendulum scale of 7. Pendulum effect. You can only use the pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. During your main phase, you can send a Clown Clan card from your deck to the grave, except the pendulum, and if you do, special discard. Also, you cannot activate the effects of monsters specials from the extra deck or extra deck until the end of the next turn. Monster effect. Monsters your opponent controls lose 1500 defense while you control a tribute summoned monster. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, shuffle all pendulums on the field and extra deck into the deck, or special a Clown Clan from your deck or extra deck. This is really good, isn't it? Isn't this another 1-card starter? What there was 1 card. Let me very quickly. Clown Clan Yu-Gi-Oh. Very quick. I think this is a starter. Because you send, which card do you send? There's like one of them has a graveyard effect. The ritual monster. If this card is tribute, no. I think it's one of the spell traps. You can banish this card from your grave, ritual summon a Clown Clan from your hand. Okay, this is not that. You sent the new trap. Oh, okay. Maybe I need to read all of them until I can. Okay. I thought they already had. Maybe I was thinking of this one that had a graveyard effect. All right, so this I think this is a good draw. If this makes it a starter, I guess I have to check that first. But this completes with the new link and the new pendulum. This is now it now has every single extra deck mechanic or special mechanic in the game, right? So we have removal for pendulums now, and also special one from deck or extra deck is pretty good, ignoring the summoning conditions. Clown Clan Drish, link 2 light warrior, link left and bottom. Needs 2 ritual, fusion, synchro, exceed, and or pendulums. You can tribute summon, your tribute summoned monsters can make a second attack. If this card is tributed, you can activate one of these effects, return all links on field and grave, or each player shuffles their entire hand into the deck. Then they draw the same number of cards they shuffled. Okay. This feels like a card that you mainly use for the removal effect for links, because of course link is a very, very important mechanic. Change roll. Yes, but it would have to be very, very good timing for you to do this, right? Because Droll cannot be activated at any time. So basically what you would have to do is you would have to set this up on the board, and then when your opponent activates a searcher, you have to chain an effect that tributes this card, right? So like your opponent activates reinforcement of the army, you have to then chain a tribute summon to tribute this card. Then they resolve their search, and then on the next chain, this would trigger, and then you can chain Droll, right? Which technically does work. It's not the hardest thing to do in this deck. So if it does play Droll and Lockbird, that would be possible. Which is potentially really toxic. So I hope Droll and Lockbird is banned by the end. I mean, that's the thing, right? This ability is definitely not too broken, right? If both players shuffle their hand into the deck and then redraw the cards, that is not too powerful, right? The problem in this equation is 100% Droll and Lockbird, not this type of effect, right? You lose your hand as well. Yes, I guess that's the other part, is you also hand loop yourself. But if you're going first and you have a board, that is a trade that you would be willing to make, right? Like that would be something that like, okay, well, I have a board, so if we both lose our hands, I'm still winning the game, right? Now, your opponent could play around it by like setting some spells or whatever before searching, if this is known, right? So like if you set this up on the board, it's pretty telegraphed, right? It's like when you summon this, then your opponent knows they need to be aware of it, but yeah. Okay. Clown Clan Finale. Normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control a tribute summoned monster, you can discard any number of cards, then target that many face-up cards on the field, destroy them. Ooh. You can banish this card from your grave and tribute a ritual, fusion, synchro, exceed, pendulum, or link from your hand or field. Add a Clown Clan monster from your deck or grave to your hand with an original level, rank, link rating that is not equal to the tributed monsters. The first part of this card is really nice because this card draws a lot of cards, and then you can set this in your end phase. And this basically gives you a very flexible form of removal. You can this reminds me of Arthalion in that way, right? Because you can choose how many cards you want to pop. Like if you have a crazy amount of card advantage, you can just discard like 5 cards to pop 5 cards. But sometimes it can be as simple as like discard 1 to discard 1 to pop 1, right? Which is nice. That's neat. And then the graveyard effect, hold up. So during your main phase, send a Clown Clan card from your deck to grave, except the pendulum, and if you do special, discard. So oh, this is a broken starter now. Oh my god, the combination of the pendulum monster with the trap is insane, right? These two together are crazy. So you activate this in the scale. You activate the effect. You send this from deck to grave. This summons itself. Then you use the trap effect in the graveyard to tribute this, which is going to let you add a Clown Clan monster that is not a level 5, which is all of like the other main deck ones. You can choose the level 1 ritual, or you can choose the big one. And that's added to your hand. And then because this was tributed, you can special a Clown Clan from your deck or extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. That is really good. That is a really good starter. Now, I could see this deck really needing this because, like, so far, the amount of starters, we have a decent amount of starters for Clown Clan, but more starters / extenders is always good. And now this basically completes the archetype, right? Because now they have removal for every matchup, right? No, it doesn't matter which summoning mechanic your opponent uses. You can shuffle rituals, pendulums, fusion, synchro, exceed, and link, because now they have everything. They get a new consistency tool, a new starter / extender, and a new trap card that can facilitate your plays on the first turn, but also interrupt the opponent on the opponent's turn. And even the graveyard effect, if you don't need it to play on your own turn, you can banish it from the grave during your opponent's turn. Since it's a trap card, it's a quick effect. you can use it to summon on your opponent's turn as well. That's good. That's good stuff. Oh, is this meta? Is this meta fodder? Is this meta deck material? I hope so. Ooh. It does. It's really hard to tell because this deck, of course, comes with very, very harsh restrictions, but it also comes with some really broken synergies with some floodgates, which they definitely could play. That's my least favorite part about this deck, right? Is that like it has synergies with like Vanity's Fiend and stuff like that. So like there's a world where this goes wrong and people start playing it with those cards as well. So I'm a little hesitant about that. But at the same time, the archetype itself is not really at fault for all the floodgates existing. So I would say like, okay, sure, then ban Vanity's Fiend and Vanity's Ruler. It is really hard to tell because the deck functions in a really, really weird way. But these cards seem really good to me. This feels like the exact missing pieces for the deck, right? They were missing some consistency and starter potential, which they now got. They are closing the gap of not having Pendulum and Link as removal. This is in general a really good card, and this is also additional interruption that has great synergy with the deck because it requires cards in hand, which you're going to have a lot of because the deck draws a lot, and it also is layers to your end board, right? Because you can do both effects on the same turn, so like you can pop some cards and then you can still perform a tribute summon later. Or not tribute summon, but you can tribute something later, which could give you the... Basically, being flexible as to when you're tributing your extra deck monsters is really important too, right? Because in order to get the removal effect of all of them, you need to tribute them. And so if you can choose the moment in which you tribute these very freely because you have a quick effect trap in the grave, that is really good, right? Because you can then, at any point, tribute your Link monster to shuffle all the Links, or tribute your Exceed to shuffle all the Exceed, or and so on and so forth, right? Cool. Awesome. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm very happy about these. These are very powerful. I think this is exactly what the deck needed. And I mean, look, I was going to play this deck no matter what. I was going to play this deck even if these cards sucked. So if these cards are good, then, you know, the better for me. But I was already convinced after the first wave of cards that I was going to like this deck. So, I mean, we'll take it. I'm going to be a clown after Chaos Origin releases, I suppose. I'm going to be a clown main. All right. Well then. Good stuff. Okay. Would it be a going second deck? I don't think so. I think it wants to go first. I don't think it wants to go second. I think it has the potential to be solid going second because of all the removal effects, but it definitely wants to go first. Wow. You're already a clown main though? All right then. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And with that, that is going to be the end of today's stream. A little bit earlier than usual, but the tournament went a little bit faster than expected. Don't worry, though. We'll be back tomorrow with more Master Duel tournament action. There is the season finals of the Challenger Cup happening today, which is a lot bigger and even more prestigious than the team tournament we had today. We're going to have the best of the Challenger Cup season attending in the tournament tomorrow. So hopefully we can see some Radiant Typhoon tomorrow. We didn't really see it pop up today, but maybe tomorrow it will. So I hope to see you all on tomorrow's stream. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you tune in to tomorrow's tournament. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you